This is Apostle Patrick, and I'm so happy to come to you and to talk to you. Remember, I'll be coming to you every day just to tell you a few things about life. In the course of my ministry, some people have been asking me, Apostle, where do you get all these stories? And I tell them, life is a story, and you have no story, then you are not living. And they say, do you have a story for every occasion? And I say, yeah. How are you able to get a story for every occasion? I tell them, life has many experiences, and you need to be a sharp person to get an experience and make a story out of it. Or you need to be a man who listens and keep that story and know where to apply it and when to use it. So I'll be telling you a story, and out of that story, I'll also be telling you some nuggets of wisdom. You know, many years ago, I'm reminded of this time we were just boys around the village, and we found a tree, and we started debating. Is this an orange tree or is it a lemon tree? And we had a group of 4 that were saying this is a lemon tree, and then a group of 3 that were saying it's an orange tree. So we debated, and we could not get an answer. Then we saw an old man passing by. We ran to him, and we said, hey, sir, please help us. Tell us, is this an orange tree or is it a lemon tree? This old man started walking away without saying anything. We followed him. We said, you did not tell us. Is it an orange tree or is it a lemon tree? The man smiled at us and he said, wait for it to bear fruits. And he walked away. What was this man telling us? That you need patience to wait for fruits, because fruits never lie. This man knew if he said it's a lemon, it's a lemon tree, those who are for it will celebrate, and those who are against it are going to fight him. So the best thing is give it time. Now let me say this, in life, when you cultivate patience, you are able to solve problems in life without asking anyone and without fighting one another. The moment you produce fruits, fruits never lie. If it's an orange, it's an orange. Why am I telling you this story? I've looked at people's life, and some run to me and they say, what must I do? And the answer I have to that question is, wait. There are others who come to me and say, man of God, pray that this thing happen. And I know prayer may not rush God, may not even push time forward. The bottom line of this life is you need a lot of patience to see you become what God wants you to become. Now in this life, there are nuggets that you need to have, wisdom nuggets that you need to have. And when we talk about financial life, you need some wisdom. Let me give you some 5 points that I believe you need as you live your life, financial life. Number 1, live within your means, and if possible, below your means. Why am I saying this? There are so many people who have struggled in this life, and sometimes they feel like God is not on their side. Why? Because they put themselves in a class where they are not able to afford. And there are people who believe, I have been in this level. And even when they lose their income, they still believe they should remain in that place. Let me say, I've shared with the people and say, if you are living in a house where you pay 10,000 and then you lose the job, don't live in that house. Calm down. If you live in a house where you paid 100,000, then you lost your means of income, then calm down and accept that life may not be constant. Now, there are people who say, oh, that is lack of faith. Let me say, faith must be something that you can budget for, and faith is a substance that can be seen. If you are living above your means, I can assure you, you will forever curse God, because you think God is not answering your prayers, yet it is God who wants you to live within your means. Now, the first point in this life is live within your means, and where possible, live below your means. The second point is live by faith, but work within your means. Now, there are people who I have told downsize. If you are living in a 4-bedroom house and you have lost your job and you have lost your means of income, come down. And they say, man of God, where is your faith? And I say, you know what? It is not about faith here. It's about reality. I remember telling one person, I said, please, this business is running into losses. Close it And he says, how can I close a business that you even prayed for and anointed? And I say, listen, though I prayed for this business, the truth of the matter is this: even the people we anoint and dedicate to God, they die and we bury them. Imagine Elijah was anointed, Elisha was anointed, David was anointed, but guess what? He died and he was buried. It is okay to say, this business is not working, bury it. It is okay to say, this job is not working, bury it. There are very few things that we are not allowed to come out of, especially marriage. But many other things, you can actually bury it and start again. So what am I saying? Live by faith, but work within your means. I have listened to people who have come to me and they say, oh, man of God, you need a big car now. You know, the kind of ministry, the kind of preaching, you are teaching about money matters, and you're driving a small car. And I tell them, listen, that is my level. If I get to another level, I will think about it. But then the others who say, no, you have taught us faith. Where's your faith? And I say, faith is not changing a vehicle and another. Faith is following the Lord. Remember, by faith, Abraham. By faith, Moses. So faith is not proving to people that you are rich. Faith is following the voice of God. Number 3, if you can't afford it, then it is not a good deal. Let me say this to you who is listening to me. I have seen people who have messed their lives because they just decided to do things that they could not afford. There are times people have come to me and say, oh, land is cheap here. With 1 million, you get a plot. And I say, to you, it is cheap. To another one, it's very expensive. And I know there are things I missed. I never got at some point. I never got some land that time. I could not afford a car that time. And I waited. The same car that I could not have bought maybe at 200 shillings, I maybe can buy it now and I can afford to pay 1 million shillings or even more. That time it was very expensive. Today it is expensive, but I can afford. So that's why I keep saying that if you can't afford it, it is not a good deal. In other words, let it go. You still buy it another time. A shilling you don't have in your pocket today may be more expensive than 1 million that you have one time. What do I mean? Today you may not afford to buy something that is going for 10 shillings. But 10 years after now, that thing that you never bought at 10 shillings because you could not afford, it will be selling at 1 million. By that time, you will be able to afford even 10 million. So if you cannot afford it today, it is not a good deal. Number 4, increased income does not necessarily mean spend more. You know, I have a story of a young man. He was maybe like 3 classes below me when we were in primary school. And this time I go home and I find him with 2 wives. Can you imagine? Then I ask him, my brother, how come you have married 2 wives? And you know what he said? Nikusumbuliwa na moja. I mean, I've been so disturbed by one, and so I decided to aunt. Can you imagine? Now, there are people who also, when they get a salary increment, they feel like, this one wife is not able to handle all this money. So they give another, they marry another wife. And there are others who feel like, now that I have money, I need to buy a bigger car. I need to change my location. I need to go live in a posh place where I can pay more money. Why? Because they think that having money means spend more. Listen, my wisdom is the fact that you have more money does not mean spend more. In fact, more money may mean give more, help more people. More money may actually mean save more. So, if you are there and you have been getting more money and spending more money, please know that you are doing injustice to yourself. That is the wisdom of life. But number 5, life has ups and downs. So what you need to do is please don't dwell on the yesterday pain. I have told people that my life, when I share about the things I went through, they are amazing, you know. I remember sharing with someone, I say, how I struggled to buy my first shoe. And it was like, I can't remember when I didn't have shoes. To me, going without shoes was fun. I told him for us, to wear shoes was fun. In fact, people used to laugh at anyone who was in shoes. Why? Because nobody in our school wore shoes. Actually, until from class 1 to class 8, I can tell you only 2 boys who used to wear shoes, and they were children of a teacher. Now, for us, everybody else never, we never could afford shoes. Now I was telling someone, I say, you know, I really struggled, I did this, I went to work for people to buy my first pair of shoes, and even going to high school, I bought my first pair of shoes. And it was like, I can't believe it. But you see, I am not in it today. It is not something to make me cry. Those who afforded shoes today, some of them cannot afford now, but I can afford. Now, I don't dwell on my yesterday pain. There are so many people who can't do anything new today because of the pain they went through. I'm speaking to somebody, for example, you lost your marriage, you lost your business, you lost your career, and you feel like, oh, I don't know what to do. What you just need to do is to rise up and start from where you are, because life starts where you decide to start. As long as you have decided not to start, life is still waiting. But the moment you stand and say, I pick up myself and it's go on, you go on. Let me tell you, use your yesterday pain to be a blessing to another person. And you have not overcome your pain if you are not able to share it, to give it as a story and to give it as a testimony. I tell people, I know many of my friends who have gone through so much and they say, I overcame. You have not overcome until you share your past. Who said that Moses killed an Egyptian? Maybe you don't know. Let me tell you. It is written in the Torah. And who wrote the Torah? It is Moses. Moses was able to share that I, Moses, am not as good as you think I have ever killed someone. Who talked of David having killed Uriah's wife, and who shared the story? David himself has shared, and he says, I am a man who has done all these things, yet the Lord calls him a man after his own heart. You know why? Because David never dwelt on his yesterday mistakes. He was able to come up and say, I have done this, but I still love the Lord Jesus Christ. Are you somewhere down there and you don't know what to do? Rise up today and go to the Lord and say, Lord, I was down, but I choose to pick up myself and run. And that is the wisdom of today. What I've shared with you and many others are in a book called Money Matters. And of course, if you go to Amazon, you can buy a copy. If you go to any Keswick bookshop in Kenya, you can get a copy. You know what? What I shared with you are just nuggets from that book. You can get your book, read, underline, and you know you can keep it in your library and be saying, I did not only hear the man talking, I also have the book that he has written. What else do you do? Go subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this with someone and tell someone Apostle Patrick always comes to us every day giving us nuggets of wisdom. Thank you so much. See you again. God bless you.